Okay, I am back. It's been a hot minute. If you don't care about my personal update, the actual topic of the video starts here. If you do care, I haven't been able to get out any videos for the past month or so because I'm pregnant. I really tried to keep up with getting my videos out for the first little bit, but I was struggling. I was so tired. I was so sick. I wasn't really happy with the quality of the last couple of videos I put out because, as it turns out, not only is it really hard to actually sit down and write a script when you're just trying to survive the day, but it's even harder to actually sit down and film a video trying to act like you feel fine when you really just feel like garbage.
Pregnancy sucks.
But I am out of my first trimester now. I'm finally starting to feel a bit more like myself. And what better way to come back than to talk about Stranger Things? Because season 5, the final season, just came out, and it's this whole like cultural moment that's going on right now. It kind of feels like something that we're all going through together. Even my husband, who hasn't seen any of the previous seasons, watched season 5. So that was really fun to experience that with him. Both of our social medias are just flooded with Stranger Things stuff right now. So we're just sending each other memes and reels all day. It's a fun time to be alive. Yes, that is my Christmas tree still up. I'm pregnant. I'm sick. I'm behind on these things. Leave me alone. This video is not about the finale, which I have thoughts on. It's not about Byler, which I also have thoughts on. I will say I had predictions after the first 4 episodes came out, and I was way off. I was like, wow, look at all these awesome things that they've set up. I can't wait to see what they do with it. And then they just kind of yeet. So that was fun. Anywho, this video is specifically about Will Byers and why that moment hit as hard as it did. You all know the moment. When I finished The Sorcerer, I had a meltdown. I actually made a short about it. It felt like I was having a panic attack, but without the panic, so it was just an attack, I guess, of what, I'm not really sure. But I had a visceral reaction. And so that got me thinking about what it was about this scene that had me and everyone reacting so strongly, because it's not just that it was badass, which it was, and it's not just that they finally gave Noah Schnapp a more flattering bowl cut, which, honestly, it's about time. That poor boy has suffered long enough. There's something deeper here that made this moment so powerful and iconic, and to put it simply, it's just because it's Will. Well, that didn't go according to plan. My kids woke up from a nap, and so it is now a different day, and I have moved to my bedroom. If I had just started out here, you guys wouldn't have even known about my Christmas tree. Wow. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. After seasons 1 and 2, Will kind of took a backseat to the story, and he was mostly relegated to being this emotional, sensitive character, which, fair, he was going through a lot. But people, I think, kind of forgot what he went through in the first 2 seasons, and they forgot how tough he actually is. When Will was taken in season 1, he was just a little kid, like a really little kid. But he fought back. He saw something coming after him, and he didn't hide and cower. He went and got a gun and shot that fucker in the face. He survived the Upside Down on his own for a week before Vecna found him and horribly violated him. When he was being haunted by the Mind Flayer, he stood his ground and faced it down. Will fought so hard, he did everything right, but he lost every time. And there's something so disturbing about watching this small child do everything right to try and defend themselves, to fight tooth and nail, never giving up, and having none of it matter because the thing that they're fighting against isn't something that can be beat. Will has suffered in ways on this show that no one else really has. I mean, the only person who can even compare would be Elle. But even so, the things that they've gone through are very, very different. Will has been completely violated. He lost ownership of his own body. And despite fighting it every step of the way, he was completely powerless to stop anything that was happening to him. And that is horrifying, especially for a child. Especially for a child who already comes from an abusive background. The horrors truly persist. Moving into season 5, we see that even though Will is back and he's survived, he's had a couple of years that were slightly less traumatic to him directly. That loss of agency that he still suffered as a child is still present, if less aggressively, in the form of his overprotective mother. And I don't blame Joyce. Trust me, if one of my kids went missing and I was lucky enough to get them back, they would never be leaving my side again. So, all things considered, I think she's actually handling it pretty well. But we especially start to see, now that Will's starting to grow up, the effect that all of this bubble wrap is having on him.
I'm right here, Mom.
He's desperate to be useful, he wants to help, he needs to fight, he needs to beat this thing that stole his childhood from him. But his mom is so afraid of losing him that she just can't let go. And once again, she's not wrong. I feel for her. It's an unfair situation. But I also feel for Will and the fact that, in a way, he's still not in charge of himself and he's still just losing. And this is what serves as a catalyst for Will's journey of self acceptance and ultimately unlocking his power. He tells his mother off, he gets a pep talk from Robin, and he's finally allowed to start playing a more active role in his life. So there's all the background and the character that plays a part in making the scene so great, but the scene itself, even just completely out of context, is fantastic. The action sequence is shot incredibly, it's completely chaotic and terrifying. Will's getting burned alive yet again. Most people who are unlucky enough to suffer through that in their lifetime have to go through it just the once, but for this poor boy, it's basically a biannual thing.
Where's the hurt?
Vecna showing up to wreak havoc and tear Will down was such an oh snap moment, and it was just a great sequence. Will has lost yet again. He's still just as powerless as he has always been. There is still nothing he can do against this evil that destroyed his life. Until Vecna sends the Demogorgons after his friends, and Will finds the strength in himself and the people that he loves the most to finally do something about it. And let me tell you, this moment hit harder than I think any other moment I've ever experienced in a TV show ever. If you've got a better one, I would love to hear it because I have never reacted to something like this before. And again, even without the emotional context, this is just a great scene. The slow motion, Robin's monologue, the film reel, it's just beautiful. Unfortunately, I really wish they had kept up this level of intensity and connection between Will and Vecna throughout the rest of the season. I really thought they were going to lean into that harder, and they just didn't. Aside from the one scene where Will faces off against Vecna to protect Max, which was fantastic, and then getting trapped in his mind, they really let this pairing kind of fall to the wayside when I thought it was going to be a main conflict of the season. I really wanted Will to be the one to kill Vecna, or at least play a bigger part in the final fight against him, since he's really the only one to suffer so directly by Vecna's hand, and I think out of everyone, he's really most entitled to some payback. So that was disappointing, although his mother chopping off his head was also pretty cathartic. So that is why it matters so much that Will has powers. So much has been taken from him. He lost his childhood, his agency, his body. He fought so hard for it, and he still lost. And that is why it matters so much that he finally had the chance to win. It wouldn't have the same impact if any other character were given powers, because no other character has lost the way that Will has. And the poetic justice of the person who took everything from him being the one to unconsciously give him the power that he needs to fight back is beautiful. That is going to do it for today. I would love to hear what you guys thought about the moment down below. I know I'm not the only one who was freaking out over it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you love movies and TV shows as much as I do, and I will see you all next time. I'm not sure if I'm going to be totally back on schedule yet, but I am trying to get back into the swing of it. Okay, bye.